Good evening, warriors, or maybe it's the afternoon or some other time where you are. I am thrilled to be here with you on this Monday Eve, right before the big election. But I'm here to tell you to take a breath. But before we start, Howie, I got to jump right in, Howie Brown. Thank you so much for gifting 10, 20 Lynn's Warriors memberships. This is what keeps our warriors going. I am telling you, Howie, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Completely humbled and just so thankful for you. Bag Biz, good evening, everyone. I'm just going to throw this out there and say, Bag Biz, I have to do it. I'm just going to give you a great big hug, kiss, everything for all you do and have done for the Warriors. I have to say it. You have been incredible. And I want to share with everybody we've got to calm down. No matter what happens, it happens. And we have to stick together. Just a little sidebar, whatever goes on, whatever occurs tomorrow, the work of the warriors continues. It never stops. We don't have time to stop anything. I want to tell you about something that should give you a lot of hope and happiness. Varia, good evening to you as well. Yesterday in Flushing, Queens, we held one of our Warriors giveaway community events. And I can't tell you how this event brought together so many people. There was so much happiness, love, generosity, goodwill. It was an incredible day that truly I wish everyone could experience. I want to really share this with you because we hear all the horror, we hear how people don't get along. Let me tell you something. We had Asian people, Hispanic people, Black people, we had gay, straight, young, old, we had every age, children coming together. Just an incredible event of, gloves and hats. And we had a lot of food to give away and a lot of toys to give children, lots of books and coloring books and crayons, creative art supplies, lots of diapers, personal products, toiletries, um, ponchos, all kinds of things that people today in vulnerable communities, they're not spending any extra dollars on anything. And the look on their faces and the people, we had a wonderful, wonderful woman, Kitty Lou. I what a warrior. We're going to be adding her to our Warriors Council. Billy Rice, wow, look at all the members. I know, Billy, that's Howie Brown for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you again, Howie Brown. Um, the incredible translation from Kitty Lou. She I don't know where she came from actually. And and all day today I've been asking, and people, it's like she appeared out of nowhere. I'm not kidding you. Um Certainly people came out of the church across the street from us and attended, but she just popped up, this well-dressed woman with a hat, and she had her jewels on. And the importance of Kitty Lou was because a lot of the community is Asian. And I don't speak Chinese. And she was talking to them and translating and making them smile. And she was explaining to me then, well, they're not going to really trust you about anything. And especially when you say something is free, which our giveaways are free, but we thank you for your donations and for the wonderful volunteers we had. That's how we can provide to our vulnerable communities. And you all know there are so many. We chose this community because of its true diversity and need of Hispanic, Black, Asian, all coming together, all living together in the same community and all helping each other. I thought we were in a different world. So this is Flushing in Queens. Queens is very large, this one particular area, but we're in New York City. And to go there was very down to earth, very just really humbling. And so Kitty Lou for us translated just automatically. I'm telling you, she showed up. I don't know where she showed up from. And she did an incredible job. And I saw she would talk to them, and the women and a lot of men too, kids, start smiling. One of the greatest things we saw, um, my fellow warrior, Vanessa, brought along tons of donated brand new books. And we at the Warriors are always promoting reading a book, an actual book, not on the phone, not on a device. To see these children, we had newborn babies to teenagers attend this. Um, and we had books for every age there. Children, I'm talking about, and teens. To see them, and sometimes they were kind of shy, and I'd be, come on, go look at the books, step up. And they kind of step up sheepishly. I mean, people aren't used to getting things like this for free, so they were a little cautious and hesitant. And also, nobody tried to grab 50 books. Nobody tried to grab 50 pairs of socks. Everybody was so just happy. And I even said to one mom, take some more socks. And she said, no, I want to leave some for some other people. Just generous and good hearted people. It was the most amazing afternoon. And to see the children and the teens take books and they're touching them and they're looking at them and they're turning them over and smiling to see a child smiling, because we look, we're not going to get the kids off the devices, but we are going to get them to limit some of their time. And so we're trying to get them and teach parents and caregivers and grandparents, okay, so get them into books, get them into arts, even if it's, construction paper, or even it's a journal, get them away. And it's working. I'm here to say it's working. So this was just a wonderful, incredible event. I just have to say thank you. Thank you, thank you. Bag Biz, I'm calling you out because you're just an incredible warrior. Howie Brown, you're an incredible warrior. All of you for listening to any of this. But I want everybody to really think about, um, in this season of giving, there is something we can all and must do in 2024, almost 2025. Something. It's not always monetary, it's not always goods. Of course, that helps. But even if you just share, our interviews on your platforms, even if you just really take our advice and talk to your kids or grandkids or a neighbor or family members with this information, that leads me into today I did an incredible interview with DEA Special Agent in Charge, Frank Tarantino, Drug Enforcement Administration. And usually people hear that or used to hear that and would run for the hills, right? Or there'd be a lot of criticism. Uh, I'm here to say this group of DEA agents, and he runs all of New York State, such nice, good, hardworking people. He is responsible for 800 agents. He joined me on the Warriors. I just put the interview up. And the difference today, and this is an incredible human being. He was in the Army. Really, when I asked him, why choose law enforcement? Why choose the Army? And he's just like, I chose a life of service. It's kind of like what I do with the Warriors. Now I've chosen this life of service. We can't help ourselves. Like, we have to do it. The difference today, and what is so hard today with drugs, because the drugs today are chemicals, right? The drugs today are concoctions. The drugs today, over 70% of all illicit drugs are cut with some amount of fentanyl. And this is what people have to understand. We have to educate, raise awareness. It's like they're throwing everything into the pot. They're throwing ketamine, fentanyl, Molly, ecstasy, mixing it all together, and then pressing it into pills, creating liquids they put in syringes. And this is what we're facing. And you can't fight that kind of thing, right? It's very difficult. You're not just fighting, picking up cocaine or something like that. They're bringing the chemicals here, mixing it here. Obviously, we've spoken about it before, it comes from China, open borders. and the cartels are working hand in hand, and they don't care. And I was very careful in my wording with Frank. I want him to tell the story, and he's DEA and he's in charge. And I think they just do an incredible job, again, of service to explain why, right now, with all of these drugs, not even drugs, they're like concoctions. I keep using that word because when I know and hear what's going on, we must not buy any drugs online, including aspirin. It goes for children, teens, adults, whatever you're doing. You're not getting anything good without a doctor's prescription. And even then, well, I'll leave that for another program. But this is poison. It is one pill can kill. So let's make sure I'm not missing any comments here. No, I don't think so. We have to really, really buckle down about this. I mean, this is an American crisis. This is also a national security threat. I said to Frank Tarantino, I'm saying this, Frank, not you. This is poison, you know. And he agreed. He said, this is the poisoning of society. This is a war. So we have our own war going on in the United States. So I don't have time at the Warriors. We don't have time for these other wars going on with everything. We have to focus on here, on now, on what's going on. But I really want to suggest to all of you that you utilize the resources on the DEA website, dea.gov, because they're well vetted. They have chemists that work on all of these things. The information should be shared. It is good information. I'm a little bit tired of everybody, not everybody, but picking up hearsay, innuendo. Somebody tweets something and gets a lot of traffic, so somebody else just retweets it. There's a lot of misinformation floats around, and that's, I'm not here to stop any of that, but that can be very detrimental when it comes to these issues of sex trafficking, labor trafficking, all of that, and of course, all of this drug trafficking that we have going on. What I like about the DEA, they are really trying very hard and succeeding. And I think the public really needs to know about this in getting into the communities. And as witnessed by what we at the Warriors did yesterday, and we are doing another community event in about right before Thanksgiving, and giving out a lot of Goya food products. And we want people to eat and be happy, and Thanksgiving and sharing all of that. But getting back to the DEA, they are now working very hard getting into the communities, working hand in hand with the families who have lost their children, loved ones, to any of these drugs, listening to them, supporting them, doing films with them, really bonding with them, and going out into the public and getting into the schools, which is so necessary. So if any of you out there have any schools, community centers, anything like that, you can rely on the DEA. They will come in, especially if you're in New York. Just contact me always, lynn@lynswarriors.org, and we'll help you set that up where we can have education and outreach and talk. So I was very proud to interview Frank Tarantino today, and share his incredible work. And I think everybody should applaud. There's a lot of hope out there, is what I'm trying to point out to you. There's a lot of hope when I'm standing in 38 degrees, yes, when we got to Queens yesterday, and just the people who turned out, and they stuck around. It's not like people came and grabbed something and ran away. They wanted to talk. They wanted to hear about the Warriors. They wanted to hear why I would do this, why I would give away free goods and books and beautiful stuff. So many of them also said, okay, I want you to come talk to my community center. I want you to come talk at this church. One is a healthcare facility for older people. And he said, I'm starting to bring in the fire department, the police department. I want you to come and talk to everybody. And I said, yes, I will come talk to everybody. There was so much goodness yesterday. So again, it's that word hope. Talking to Frank Tarantino, DEA, lots of hope. I like the direction they're taking. Their work is paying off. And they have, you see, the public doesn't hear about this because the media doesn't share it uh, at all. They've had an incredible, as of late, recently, arrest records of cartel members. We're not hearing any of this at all. And they are working so hard and they need to be applauded. Anybody who's working on our behalf, this is a national security threat to our country, all of this drug trafficking and cartels. I mean, the cartels are running everything. There's no other way to say it. We currently have the current administration, because I'm not saying their names, because I'm tired of those two. I'm sick of them. That's all I'm going to say. But the current administration in Washington is complicit, this is my opinion, with the cartels in running the largest human trafficking operation in the entire world. That's just the reality of it. Sean says community events are one of the best remedies to societal problems. You are correct, Sean, in that we can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and we do. But it's about taking action. It's about boots on the ground. It's about getting to know the people, the needs. I am telling you with the Warriors, what we did yesterday, what we will continue to do is paying off. When other people say, come speak at my organization, come to my school, come to my church, we are building. We are building within the communities. You know, our hashtag is community creates change. So why I fight for legislation in Washington and Albany, our state capital, we have to work with the people. And I wish more people would think that way, right? I mean, there are plenty of people who could, I don't know, it's not that hard. Organize maybe gently used clothing or just something and hold a little something in their community. Um, donate, donate to look up what's in your area, crisis center, Salvation Army store, Goodwill. I know a lot of people do, but we need more of that because more people are now depending upon this. So I think it was so between yesterday and speaking with Frank today, Tarantino, because I met Frank August 21st in Times Square. Well, let me tell you the story to that a little bit. It was National Fentanyl Awareness and Prevention Day. And the DEA, in conjunction with Fentanyl Awareness, a group of parents in the middle of Times Square on a Wednesday matinee day, did a wonderful presentation, outreach, loads of information for passers, by. And I kept thinking, NYPD was there. Okay, this is great. But we need more of the public because it was matinee day, which is 2:00 in New York. People go to the theater. And this started at 12:00. So people are scurrying about, beginning 12:30 or so. But they weren't stopping. They weren't stopping to listen to the mothers and fathers we were listening to, who were wearing their dead children's faces on T-shirts or signs around their necks. And they flew in from all over the country. And I would listen to them because I'm always about a focus group and gaining information. And I would hear, as an example, a mother say to another mother she didn't know, but they both had their children on their shirts or a sign. What happened to yours? Tell me when. Some of them had the dates. And a lot of them also put like forever 17, forever 12, forever 19. It was an overwhelming visual to see all these parents and hear about this. And, you may not want to hear about it because it's dark, it's ugly, it's not nice. But look at our country. There's a lot of not nice going on. So let's create the nice. Let's be the leaders for the nice. and get on board with this, because I'm sure if something happens to your child or a family member, you're going to want to know about it. So let us get in there for the intervention and prevention and start the discussion about all of this. I also am very hopeful as we move forward. I know everybody's nervous about this election. Things have changed. Something I never do, but I wish we could do. I remember my parents had, the voter ID card they carry around. You vote on election day. Those days are over, so we got to roll with what we have. It's different. So take a breath. I keep saying that because I'm getting a lot of messages, prayer circles, meeting in churches, and that's all fine. But if anything, we have to stay strong. We have to be warriors, and we have to fight appropriately. Some other things going on. I just want to remind everybody, I'm going back about the fentanyl, because think of 10 grains of salt. Visuals usually work, 10 grains of salt. That is the amount of fentanyl that can kill you. And then recently, because I'm on Nancy Grace talking about it relentlessly, which is fine with me, is Sean Combs, aka Puffy, Diddy, Love, PD. I, of course, always call him Dirty Diddy. He just is Dirty Diddy. But this pink cocaine came onto the scene, a lot of discussion that he had it as his designer party drug. There's really no such thing, believe it or not, and try to follow this, as pink cocaine. Good evening, Lynn, and everyone. That is from Leslie. Good evening, Leslie. Thank you for joining us. Because pink cocaine, first of all, there's basically no cocaine in pink cocaine. They put food dye, strawberry food dye usually is used to make it pink, like, a cotton candy color. And it's, again, this combination. This is why drugs today are just nothing we can even ever compare to. These are chemicals, deadly chemicals. The pink cocaine has things, again, ecstasy, ketamine, maybe a drop of cocaine. But what concerns me is, like we saw with the marijuana, they packaged it in these bright colors, kid friendly. Things would look just like, a real pack of candy, perhaps. Remember that? The wrappers, almost identical. Things that attract kids, right? The pink cocaine, because of the color pink, believe it or not, attracts kids. And this stuff is deadly. Deadly. Oh, they throw Trank into it. Remember Trank? Narcan doesn't even work on Trank. They're just throwing it all in, and it keeps, as Frank Tarantino from DAA pointed out to me, it keeps getting bigger and stronger. I don't even know what's after all these chemicals. I don't, we don't even know, but we know they're deadly. And that is the importance of talking about not buying on the internet, talking about these drug concoctions, talking about one pill can kill. I listened to two mothers talk this day in Times Square. It was August 21st. That one daughter was a cheerleader, and the other cheerleader, her leg hurt or her leg hurt. And her friend said, okay, I'll give you an aspirin. And we've heard this story a lot, different versions of it. Gave her an aspirin, and she died. Now, the friend didn't mean to kill her friend, but she bought it on the internet. And the friend who died, this girl, this teen, didn't think to ask, where did this aspirin come from, or, right? So we have to provide the education. We have to provide the knowledge. And they're also the pills they're creating and selling on the internet. So this is the thing that angers me so much. There's so much censorship, right? Let's just all agree there is, because we know there is. But they're not censoring this on the internet. It boggles one's mind that this is allowed to go on. It further boggles my mind that right now and for the last few weeks, nothing at all has occurred in Washington, D.C., because it's always been, mm, let's wait for the election, let's see what happens with the election, this lame duck session, as they call it. And I kept pushing, of course, for, okay, well, we have 10 weeks then, because that's the total time of this lame duck session. We could be working on strategies. We could be, brainstorming. We could be doing all kinds of things. And you know what, warriors? Nobody wanted to do anything. Nothing. What a waste of time. Because you have to be 10, 20 steps ahead at all times. Why wait for something to happen? We could be working further on Kids Online Safety Act. We could be working more on all of this drug talk I'm telling you about tonight. I mean, we should have PSAs flooding our screens about all of this, correct? Warning kids. If the kids are going to be on Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram, their three favorite sites, right? We should be pushing PSAs and things like that. But then again, that would be attempting to solve a problem, and solving problems does not make money. So all of this comes down to sex trafficking, labor trafficking, the drugs, the children, the predation. It's true predation with the drugs, the fentanyl, the pink cocaine, predation on the internet. And nobody is really stopping it. And it's very exhausting for me to have to tell you that. But it's not exhausting for me to tell you have to become a warrior. You have to figure out what you are going to do within your own circle, and you have to do it. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll put a few things in the body of this video you can study up on. Please always, subscribe. I should have said that at the beginning. To our Warriors channel to build community, because that's what we need to do. So we get into the algorithm, so we're circulated more. And also, and I just remember this, I have 2 different Twitter accounts. And I noticed yesterday I was unsubscribed. My 2 accounts follow each other, right? And my one account was unsubscribed from the other account. Now, I never unsubscribed from it. I wonder who did that. So please check if you're following me on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors. Make sure you are subscribed, because mine just disappeared yesterday. Maybe yours will too. Because again, we want to get the information out there. It's not about me. It's about sharing information, sharing studies, sharing other people's information. So do that. But help us. That's something you can do. And always, if you're on X, Twitter, try to share good information, especially anything about studies. We love that. And please, you can always write to me, lynn@lynswarriors.org, and I will answer you. If not that day, I will try by the next day. Things are busy. Things are good at the Warriors. Things are good for all of us warriors. Just know that your help, your attention, your donations, your volunteering, it all helps, and it makes all of you warriors. I'm going to let you go watch, I don't know, watch some relaxing television, an old movie, eat a pizza, do something tonight to just make yourself happy. Again, take that breath. And tomorrow, I guess, will be a long day. We'll kind of all be on pins and needles, but it's okay. We'll spend the time together. And thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Billy, great job, Lynn. Thank you very much. Sean says, there simply isn't more important work anyone could do than what you are, Lynn. God bless you and your work. Well, thank you, Sean. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. Leslie says, whoops, now all of a sudden I'm getting some things here. Tomorrow I'm catching a Broadway show. Ooh, Leslie, I like that. What show are you seeing? Jenny is sending the blue hearts, which is our warrior symbol. Leslie, what show is it? I'm just curious about that. Leslie also says, I always hope that there's people out there that want to protect kids. Pray for the kids and our country. There's plenty of people that want to protect kids out there and be warriors, and they're doing it. And yes, pray for everything tonight because prayers can't hurt, right? And with that, let's just check. Sean says, "Thank you for the shout out. Very kind." Well, of course I would shout it out. Why not? We're talking together. We're chatting tonight. And let's see. Oh, we have Peter T. Birch. Beautiful job. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Very nice for you to join us tonight. But seriously, we're not going to lose our minds. We're not going to go crazy. We are warriors and we are going to step up and we're going to fight harder and we're going to protect our kids. But you got to talk to your kids because kids today are smart. They are a savvy group and they know a lot. And you know what? I'll leave you with this. We find out from our focus groups and when we talk to kids. I talked to a lot of kids yesterday. You just kind of have to get on their level and just, oh, what book are you looking at? I would say to them. And they would try to decide, I want this one, I want that one. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at the back cover. Let's see what it says on the inside. And they were very choosy about the books. But the greatest thing was to see these children, I kid you not, smile and walk away with a book, a book. So they weren't on the devices. And the little kids were clutching their items like they didn't want anybody to take them from them or they just loved them so much. It made us so happy. So there's work to be done, a lot of work to be done. And so we will do it and we will do it together. We will meet again probably sometime tomorrow. We have to keep it going during this time period. Everybody have a good evening or a good day wherever you are. And I thank all of you. I couldn't do this job without all of you. So have a good night. Thanks, warriors. We'll talk again tomorrow.